Welcome, everybody, to the Luke PIPALA Show with Andrew Lucas. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, bro?
I'm okay. I pooped a little bit of blood today, I'm not going to lie.
A little?
So what happens is I spot. I do have a penis. I do not have a vagina, but what happens is after I drink, like, caffeine or, like, coffee or whatever, sometimes I just happen to get a little bit blood on my stool.
You should get that checked.
I have.
You know,
Twice.
I had a sister.
Oh. Is she still alive?
No, I ate her I absorbed her in the womb.
Okay.
But she was having a similar issue. And I will say, me absorbing her made the issue go away.
Huh. Interesting.
So, I don't know. Take what you want with that, but
I've been to 2 different doctors.
consider it.
My issue still persists.
You should see a specialist.
Oh, I have.
Like a holistic?
Oh, no.
You gotta get down with the hose, bro.
Very
Let me
physical.
tell you about it.
They're very physical. So, I went to the first one, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. What they do is they basically, they finger the fuck out of your asshole.
Okay. Prostate exam.
Exactly. And, he said, you're good. And I was like, okay, whatever. A couple months later, it happened again.
Yeah.
And so this next guy, he was like 79, right? He's just about to retire. And you could tell he'd been doing this shit for a long time because he was like really jokey with it.
Yeah.
And so he goes, okay, just, pull your pants down, whatever. And right before he sticks his hands in me, right, he goes, lay on your back or your stomach. And I'm like, okay, whatever. No, I can't see shit because I'm laying down, right?
Yeah.
All I can hear in the background is...
Especially not the bloody.
Right. All I can hear in the background is the elastic plastic glove. Pulled it,
Yeah.
Just to show him, that he was like, I don't know, being clean or whatever. And then he goes, I could hear like a little pump, right? Mm-hmm. And then just before he sticks his hands inside of me, he goes, in prison, they don't use lube. And then all of a sudden, I feel like he goes right into me, bro. And I was like, you squirm. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in this position.
Not without friends around.
Hey, listen, you got to share the experience.
I got to have at least 3 in the room to do something that transparent,
I see.
Drastic.
Well, I was obviously a fan of a more personal probing, if you will.
I always keep people with me in the room just in case, like, the doctor leaves his fingers in there for just a little too long.
Interesting. What's your, ideal lasting time?
Like, anything longer than 4 seconds, like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, if you're in there for there's only so far you can go.
I'm the one.
Especially, like, these people, like, these doctors got to be strong. Like, they're probably going to the doctor a lot. They're always just, like, out of nowhere.
Well, I will say,
But you think they ever miss? Like,
let me tell you something. I came, so it worked.
There you go.
To a conclusion.
Oh.
Never doing it again. Mind you, the problem still persists. Both guys said there was no tear. Everything was fine. I think they're full of shit, personally.
No tear.
No tear. So the problem persists.
The priest even gave me a tear.
Oh, tell me about it.
Dude, I think my biggest problem as a human being is that I tell people that I was molested too often.
Was it true?
Well, not what I tell people. There's a whole video on that, bro, but not what I tell. I'm always, every day, I feel like I make priest jokes too much.
Well, what's wrong with a good priest joke?
I just want the Catholic Church to compensate me,
I see what you're saying.
But I feel like then I still couldn't stop,
I have something to tell you regarding that.
Let's go.
Not exactly the Catholic Church. It was last year, and I forget the class, but we had all the seating arrangements, whatever, and there was this guy on my right. He was kind of quiet, I made a couple jokes about our professor being bald to him, whatever, and he laughed at my jokes. Then I see he's not in school for a month and a half, 2 months. Then my friend, who's also in the class, he Snapchats me an article, and I look at the article. This motherfucker was convicted of being a pedophile and molesting little children as, get this, a youth pastor of a Christian church.
Sounds all right.
This motherfucker laughed at my jokes. He could have grabbed my cock if he wanted to.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he didn't.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
I wish he did.
Right? There was a teacher who got busted for, taking kids to hotel rooms or something.
Oh, I don't know.
And I was like, you couldn't have picked me?
Was it a girl or a guy?
It was a girl. I was like, let's go.
Was it the chick from Poland high school?
No, she was from, like, I can't remember where she got in trouble at. It was, like, Liberty, maybe, or something. But before, I was at the Career Center in Warren County. And I was like, come on. Game on.
We had a teacher back in middle school. Her name was Miss Littell, but we used to call her Miss Latits because, like, she just had some knockers, bro.
I've heard of her.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
She was bad back then.
Where?
St. Charles.
Say, oh, yeah. Yeah. Michael McGavin, probably. Yeah.
So, tell everybody, like, how you got into comedy. Like, what first inspired you?
Yeah, I laughed.
Laughed?
Let's see. So, I grew up in a really Christian home.
Okay.
And my parents did not, like, watch stand-up comedy. Like, they were really, like, we were like a sitcom family. Like, we didn't really watch anything that was more, vulgar than, like, a show like The Middle. Like, those were, like, family shows. Like,
Yeah.
Those are where we stayed at. So, I didn't even know this whole world of comedy existed.
Yeah.
Until I was, like, 19, or not even 19, I'm way too far. 13, 14,
Okay.
and I was just listening on my Spotify, and I got a recommendation for a comedian, and it was just like, people do this? I didn't know this was a thing. I just thought it was one guy, and then eventually I was like, oh, this is everyone, like...
Who was the comedian, do you know?
I think it was Daniel Tosh was the first person I was introduced to. No, it was Dane Cook. Daniel Tosh was second. Tosh one of my favorites, but Dane Cook, I didn't get introduced to him until after nobody knew who he was anymore. Because he was really big back in like early 2000s, selling out like Madison Square and stuff. Yeah. But I didn't discover him until he no longer really did shows, and so that's kind of where I found it. And I went in 7th and 8th grade. I kind of was really just listening, and going into 9th grade, I went to my high school, and I went to like a STEM school for engineering, and we had a science class for like physical science, just something dumb.
Yeah.
And our teacher she was so awesome, but she was so bad at her job.
Was she hot?
No. She looked like a science teacher. Like, she had, like,
oh, really?
the goggles, like, her glasses were like that.
Yeah.
They were like circles.
Oof.
They were rounded too much. Like, she had, like, big curls.
Yeah.
But they weren't huge. They just, like, went far.
That's weird.
Yeah, she looked like someone who belonged in a lab.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyway, she would let me do story time at the end of our class. So,
oh boy.
Yeah. So physical science, one of our rules was like at the end of every class, like 5 minutes, Andrew gets story time.
And that was every day?
That was like every day for like the first 3 or 4 weeks.
And that must have been like a huge adrenaline high for you.
Dude, like I was in middle school like everybody else, down bad, bro. And I didn't really have any good friends in middle school, like just people I knew. And I kind of like isolated myself just because of the way I interpreted the values that I was raised with.
Right.
And I just didn't do it right. And I really isolated myself. But went to this new school, got an opportunity to start over. And one of the things that I got to tap into first was comedy. And using that to kind of break into my new school. And it was just, like, I was never, like, look at me, I'm a big guy. I was never, like, the most popular kid in school. But in freshman year, I went to a small school. It was about 100 kids. Okay. I was probably the most popular kid in school, I felt.
Really?
Like. Or I might not have been, and who cares if I was.
Who gives a shit?
But I felt like I was.
Exactly.
And it was unlike anything else.
It's all about your mental state when it comes to that shit, bro. So, obviously, you do like stand-up. I saw on your YouTube, if anybody obviously watching right now, go check out his YouTube. His shit's crazy. And you've done like stand up in New York.
Yes.
I know we talked about it.
We
camera,
did, bro.
But I want to go like dive deeper.
Let's talk about it on camera. Let's
Okay.
put it all out there.
Yeah. So how'd you get into it?
Bro, you know, this guy was talking trash, and I was in New York, and I just hit him. Turns out he owned a club, took his uniform, went in,
Okay.
sold a seed. You know, real story is I went and I was on Facebook. So for people who want to be comedians or anything, to start, it's really all through Facebook. It goes through Facebook groups. That's the biggest online presence to find shows close to you, to find shows where you can go to. So I was doing a lot. Where was I going with that? What was I? Shoot. Lose my train of thought all the time, man.
I do that too when I jerk off.
Yeah.
It's tough.
I don't lose mine until the end, usually.
No, I have to go, spot to spot.
Spot. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you gotta make it slow.
Oh,
You
boy,
were
do I make
asking
it
me,
slow.
like, my New York show.
Yeah.
So, Facebook groups, there was just a post that came up in one of them that I was in about, like, they were looking for people to come and do this bar in New York. And I was like, oh, that would be awesome. And I contacted them. They reached back out to me quick. And it was kind of like a money-making scheme for them, but I got so much free, like, promotional stuff, like I get to put like the picture of me at the comic strip. I got to perform at the comic strip, which is where Jerry Seinfeld recorded a special a couple years ago.
Really?
Yeah, like it was nuts to like be there and know that like I watched that special when it came out, and I just remember watching it and being like, this is so funny. And it's just, I never really got to see that because, he wasn't really in my era. But then I got to go there, and I got to be in the same room he was in doing it. The rush was unbelievable. We had to pay money to get out there. We had to travel out there. We had to pay $25 per person when we got there. I had to bring 5 people. And it was a 2-drink minimum. So there was a lot of money that had to be spent for it to happen. But I'm so happy, like, me and my family really helped to get me to do that. You know?
And so I went and I saw Joe Rogan, I've seen Dave Chappelle, Tony Hinchcliffe, Donnell Rollins, and those were all, one was at Canton, the Hall of Fame outside. Other ones were in like arenas.
How is that? What's an outdoor show like?
Bro.
For who?
It was for Dave Chappelle.
Was it like
it was
one
at
of the
Hall of
2020 shows?
It was
like a pandemic show?
No, bro. It was a couple months ago.
Oh, wow.
This was in July.
I almost went to that show. They were
cool.
looking for people to work the ticket booth and stuff, and I was like, I could do that. Go in and see Dave Chappelle for free.
Yeah, bro. It was
I
him.
almost did it.
It was him, Donnell Rollins, which honestly, Donnell was funnier.
Yeah?
Because, Dave's a storytelling comedian, but, like, Donnell's joke after joke after joke.
Really?
He was talking about, like, fucking a dog. He was hilarious.
That's what you want.
And then there was this other lady, I forget her name, and there was this other dude. But, like, it was a really good time. But it was cool, man. It was a little bit different, obviously, than inside, just because you have that whole outdoor factor.
Yeah.
But, like, seats were mostly packed, and that's probably, like, 60,000. Maybe it's a little bit less, but it's a Hall of Fame. The Canton Football Hall of Fame, so obviously it's insane amount of seats. But the trend with all of those where they took your phone. They put your phone in that
I just keep seeing that.
That magnetic one.
I went and saw. I had that happen. I went to see Tom Segura, Theo Vaughn, and I'm trying to remember. I feel like I saw someone else.
But what a lineup still.
Yeah, still. And we went and saw them. And for Theo, we didn't have to, but for Tom, we had to. And, dude, it was crazy. The shows were so good. Theo is like, I love Theo. He's my favorite all-time comedian. And like, just watching him on a podcast talk is like my warm-up before I go on stage. Like listening to how he's interpreting the world. That's what I like to hear,
My favorite guy is Tim Dillon. I love Tim Dillon.
I never really liked him just because he's, his voice it gets there.
I understand.
It's annoying, but
well,
now that I'm older, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
now I get it.
It's just he talks to his producer mostly. He'll have people on occasionally, but he just like shoots the shit. And he just rants, and it's hilarious. Like, because you could tell.
He knows too much about the world.
You could tell he's been doing cocaine.
Oh,
and
yeah.
obviously he's clean now, but like you could tell that's not a regular mind. You know what I
No,
mean?
look, all of them, bro. Haven't you seen the movie, the documentary?
About
The documentary, The Wolf of Wall Street.
yeah,
bro.
I've seen The Wolf of Wall Street.
You know, they're all doing cocaine.
All
They're
of
all
them.
doing a little sniff.
All of
sniff.
them. And he was in the housing. He had something to do with the housing market.
Yeah.
For a while.
Smart guy.
Subrate, prime, something like that. He was basically selling
Doing
mortgages
some- yeah.
to people that couldn't pay it. What an ass! But
I almost got a job like that.
Really?
And I was like, I don't really like this. Like, they were interviewing me, and it was just like a scam. Not a scam company, but it was like, it was a mortgage company. They're trying to get you to consolidate your loans, which could work for some people.
Yeah.
But it's just another phone call that you have to deal with about mortgage. Like, it's a whole thing, and it could make things worse for you. It could make things better. Just
of course, yeah.
So I was like, this is kind of sketchy. You're just calling all these people being a telemarketer. I'm all right. I was like, how am I going to do comedy with no energy? What?
You can't do it.
Yeah, can't do it.
I've only done stand-up once, and I have the nerve to call myself a comedian, at
Do
least
it.
on Instagram.
Do
I have
it.
a little thing in the bio.
I've done stand up once or twice.
How many times have you done it? We were talking about
How
this
many
off there.
times? Well, I don't know how many times, but I know that last year I was popping off with like 14 shows a month, 15 shows a month.
Wow.
And then into like February, March, I was still doing like 8 to 10 a month, still pretty busy. And then into the summer, it really died down. And also, I stopped working at the place I was at, so I didn't really have the funds to support it.
I got you. Now, coming from like this area where like stand-up isn't really popular, none of that stuff is really popular. I mean, there's a club downtown, but I won't go over there.
Yeah.
Where do you go? Like,
Well,
if you want to start out.
There's not a spot here. It's like I said. It's you go to Facebook to find that stuff out.
I got you.
Eastside Civics is a bar I've performed at a couple times.
Where's that?
It's sketchy,
Yeah, what's
but actually it's not. It's probably the whitest bar in Midlothian, if we're honest.
Okay.
But that's not saying much.
Yeah.
But Eastside Civics,
Well, I'm black, so it's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's like trashy white. You know, it's not even like a regular
Like white trash.
Yeah. Well, like white trash, but like a trashy white. You know, no,
Yeah, I know. I see what
like
you
an
mean.
eggshell white.
Like a lady walking up the side of the road with looked like a face, like a fist. You know, you ever seen those kind of people?
I don't see them
The
actually.
people you tell
I don't
definitely
see them
smoke
as
crack in
people.
their lives.
No,
No, but seriously, you see a lot of them down here.
Well, I know
especially
you do.
Pushing a shopping cart.
How many stickers?
I'm down here too much.
How many stickers do you have to have on your car before you're considered insane?
I don't have any stickers. I consider myself pretty insane.
I have one.
What's it say?
It's just a bill sticker. That's it.
I see. I used to have a Supreme sticker on the back of my car. I didn't buy it. I just picked it up in the
You were
bathroom.
one of those.
No, I just picked it up in the bathroom. It was there. Yeah.
Was that like your tip for something?
No.
Oh.
No. Yeah. You know, I have a lot of stories about bathrooms from my time in high school.
Yeah.
You ever had like one of those situations where you just really had to rub one out real quick?
In high school?
Yeah.
I came close several times.
What, did you actually come
No,
close?
no,
No.
not that close.
I came too close.
Too close.
To the bell.
To the bell?
To the bell.
No, that's when you want to do it because then you could be like, oh, there we go.
Well, let me
'Cause
tell
then,
you my
like,
story.
the bell's here. You know?
So, there was this girl. This was...
What did I just say? The bell's here. You know, the bell's going off so nobody hears you like, woo!
It's an internal bell, too.
We're talking about, you know.
Where is this going?
I don't know, man.
Well, hold on, let me tell you. So there was this girl, sophomore year of high school. We had, I don't even know what we had.
Sophomore. Oh, sorry.
We had, well, wait till you hear the story. We had something going on. This one time, I felt like such a badass, bro. I made out with this girl, like, while lunch was going on. It was crazy. Anyway, so we were texting back and forth that day after it happened, and it got to the point where, you know, I had to, you know, relieve myself. So
Yeah.
I asked, obviously, our English teacher, you know, if I could go to the restroom, and, you know, she said, of course, whatever. She had no clue.
Yeah.
So we're going, and I close the door. I walk, and I just did my thing in the stall, and right as I was about to pop off, the bell rang, and so as soon as it came out, the bell rang. And I was like, shit. So I had to...
So there's no time for cleanup.
No, there's no time for cleanup.
Oh,
so
I didn't get it.
I had to get a paper towel or toilet paper, get all that shit cleaned up fast as hell. I sprinted up there. I'm out of breath. I don't know what... She obviously... She had to have known, right? I'm out of breath. I'm like, oh, sorry, Miss Huber. I dropped my books down the stairs. I didn't know what to say. And she just looked at me strangely, and I left. But, bro, never... I hadn't done it. Maybe I did it one more time, but that was it. Sometimes you have to.
You gotta be careful at school, bro. Schools are tough.
Well, I did it.
Especially when you're when you're 18 at school. If you're an 18-year-old senior, is that a crime?
Don't
admit it.
I was definitely 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
I'm a veteran.
I feel like 15.
When did you start? Is that too invasive? Is that too bad of a question?
I don't know. I started young.
I bet I started younger than you.
But
3.
Yeah, I started at 2 months, bro. I told you I had a sister in the womb. It's all up here.
Okay, that's right.
Mental spank bank right here.
I was joking too.
3.5.
I have a story, but I don't know if I'm willing to reveal it on. Nah.
About you and a 3.5?
No, about when I was 3.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because that could have gone a couple different ways.
Yeah, I know.
Just react.
But no, I'm not gonna say it. Anyway, so 2.5 months. 2 months? 2.5 months?
2.5 months for
doing the deed.
What?
Didn't you say you started at 2.5?
2.5. Yeah, but I told you spank bank, bro.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
It's all in the back.
I see what you mean. Okay.
I gotta keep it back here.
I understand.
That way, when I'm walking, I keep my eyes up.
I see. You're not a video guy.
I am.
Okay.
But I just I try to make sure I'm not a pervert.
I understand, and that's a good thing.
It's tough.
I understand.
Because sometimes I'm not even being a pervert. I'm just looking that way.
Yeah.
Right now, watch, dude. Somebody probably thinks I'm looking at their tits. And I'm not. I'm just looking at the camera.
All right, hold on. Have you ever been caught checking a girl out?
Yeah, everyone has, right?
I can't remember a time.
You ever see the Seinfeld episode where they talk about the double look? You can't look twice. Only one look.
I love Seinfeld.
Yeah.
My favorite episode's The Contest.
Oh yeah.
Pretty fitting, isn't it?
Dude, I love it. I haven't watched it all the way through. I've only got through the first 7 seasons, and for a while, every Friday night, I would come home from my job at TJX, and I would have a show to go to almost every Friday night. So I get home at 6:30. I'd order a pizza, get a pizza real quick, and watch an episode of Seinfeld, do a little stand-up prep, then head to whatever show I was going to.
Really?
I was every weekend night for me.
Now, what time is the show usually?
Usually they're later. So I work with a guy, John Huff, a lot of times he's been such a help to me, but he's late historically. If a John Huff show is going on, usually it's about an hour after it starts is when it actually starts.
Now, are there comics? So first off, did you start doing open mics? How'd that work?
So actually, I got my first gig at through the church that I went to.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that something?
Yeah, so they had fine arts, the Fine Arts Festival,
right?
Which is where they have you display your talents, and so I did stand up when I was in 9th grade. Okay. After that whole year of being, on top of the world.
Yeah, of course.
It was a good year, and I told my youth pastor I was going to do stand up, and I signed up for it and everything. And I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do that?" And she kind of tried to talk me out of it. And so did a lot of other people. And I actually went up. I did my set for the youth pastor, And he was like, I think you need to cut out like your Jesus Christ joke and like change that. It might be offensive. And I was like, that's like my best joke.
Yeah.
Like I ain't changing that.
No, it was really clever, and really
Yeah.
funny.
So I went and I did this show. It was my first ever stand-up show, but it was great because it wasn't the first time that I was telling jokes to people in
see what
front
you're
of
saying.
people.
Yeah.
Because I had that experience luckily from my science teacher, giving me that platform. So doing that was awesome. I did great. I got a standing ovation.
Really?
I got invited to the national competition.
No way.
And I probably would have won if it wasn't for I went 2 minutes over my time limit.
Oh, really?
And I lost like 2 points or something for doing that.
What's the time limit?
It was only 5 minutes. So it was a strict 5 minutes too. But I was the last comedian of the night.
Yeah. How many comedians did you go up against in that competition?
That one was small. So the first year was probably like 5. The second year, I won it, and it was probably like 12.
Oh, wow.
And the third year, we probably had more like 18 to 20 kids,
Oh, shit.
and then I won that one again. Fourth year was COVID, so I didn't go.
Were there 19 people supposed to be there, or was that just like
At least.
at least? Wow. Oh well, yeah. I don't know, bro. I have like, how do you get your jokes? Like, do you just like have to sit down and write them, or do they just come to you?
Well,
The writing process.
the concepts are you're just watching. You're just anytime you think of something, write it down. That's all I do. It's like there's so many concepts in my phone
Oh, I have
that
concepts in a notebook.
are just like crazy. Like, I just tested one out on you guys when I got here. I was like, as a stand-up comedian, I'm not sure whether or not I'm the joke or the jokester of the family. You know, like I haven't figured that. That's one of the things that had a joke idea for. But like talking about LinkedIn being like, it's like Tinder for people who are employed. You know, like
Yeah.
talking about just like weird concepts about Sam's Club or other things.
I have
Totally
anal
place.
bleeding, dog moms and dads, studying comics. I am in the process of writing multiple YouTube skits. We're going to be filming one hopefully soon, within
Yeah?
the next month or so. But like, just random shit, bro. You see my empty pages. Like, just random stuff.
Oh yeah, always.
You have to. That's why I said I've only done stand-up once, and it wasn't even like first stand-up. It was my friend Ivan. He was getting like a bunch of people, like local, like musicians or whatever around the area,
Yeah.
and it was at a banquet hall, so it wasn't exactly like a club.
Yeah,
But
that's how it goes.
I was the opening act, and I said shit like, I have to do this. I felt this drive.
Yeah.
You know how it is. Like, there was like anxiety, though. I was like scared if I would mess up. But of course, you're gonna mess up. It's your first time.
Yeah.
So the first joke was about the dinner I had probably like an hour before, and how we went to an Asian cuisine place, and you
Yeah.
know how they got the little sake sauce, and they yell at you to swallow. And my opening joke was, I usually don't swallow, but I had to make an exception. I was in front of a bunch of, I don't even know the age, but it wasn't real well received, of course. I could hear a couple laughs in the distance, but that was really it. And then my big joke, my big monumental idea was I was going to talk about how girls on social media can get away with showing like their asses and shit and their bodies for attention. But us guys, we don't, for likes, but like for us guys, like we don't really have anything that could get us a lot of attention on social media.
Yeah.
And so the concept was to then pull my pants down on stage and say, like, you don't seeing us doing this and like grabbing my dick and like taking selfies, because they take their body parts close enough to the camera, or whatever. So the concept was like, you don't see us taking selfies with our dicks. And about as soon as I pull my pants down, the mic cut out. The humiliation. You know what I'm saying?
Is it humiliation? You could have put that clip on
I
Hub.
didn't
Get some advertisement money.
I didn't get it. It wasn't recorded, but the mic cut out. I had to go off stage, get it, and I mean, it's not anything.
With your pants down still? Or?
Yes, they were down, of course. Yes, But surprisingly, in the moment, I didn't feel like anything because I was just happy that I was doing it in general. Not like performing with my pants down, but like, doing stand-up. And so I had to finish the joke. Obviously, the rest of it bombed. It was only like 5 minutes or so.
Hey,
you had to.
You
do
went
it.
up there. That's what it's for.
Yeah, I give my friend a lot of props just having me on as like the headliner.
If you don't bomb, what are you doing, bro?
Exactly.
That's what your first show is always a bomb.
Well,
if it's not, that's a problem.
I'd rather have booze than silence. Silence is the worst.
Silence is tough, but if you can just block it out,
Yeah.
and, like I said, it starts with a concept, but then your concept turns into way more. Like I talked about, like this is something that I just came up with yesterday. I was I want to say it was yesterday, sitting at this new job, going through all this orientation. Mm-hmm. All it is just like, it's basically just OSHA for 7 days. Mm-hmm. And we had to go around and talk about our hopes and dreams with the company,
When people ask you, what do you want to do with your life, do you tell them it's comedian or do you tell something else? Because when I say like comedian, podcast, like I want to be
I tell them I don't know.
Yeah, I tell them the truth.
Yeah.
I always get bad looks.
Yeah, no, actually, they had me share, and I was like, yeah, I was hoping to apply for the mom, but I missed the deadline by a couple decades. And that's what I opened up with there for everyone. So, like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes you gotta treat life like a comedy show.
Definitely. Because if you don't, it sucks.
Yeah, it's so much better. Like my parents have had so many conversations with me where they're just like, "That's not funny." Like you can't, and it's like, yeah, it is.
Yes,
it's
it is
hysterical.
I agree.
You have to look at this from a non-biased perspective for a second.
I'm so glad that I'm not the only one that thinks.
Oh,
like
dude,
this.
it's so interesting. Like, it's the worst sometimes. I get a really good joke, and then it's like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah.
The one time we were down at the beach, we're at Geneva on the lake, just like chilling down by the water, and we're standing there, and my little brother starts talking about ball tag or whatever, like from high school. Yeah. And she was like, "Guys don't really do that, do they?" And I was like, "Yeah, don't girls do it too?" And I called it like cooch tag or something.
Yeah.
And she smacked me on the back of the head.
I used to be a menace back in high school, bro. It got to the point where like my friends would like tell their moms that I was ball tapping them in the hallway, so I had to stop.
Wow.
Isn't it a shame,
dude?
Were
they really your friends though? If they can't take a ball,
in reality, no. We no longer speak.
Good call.
Yeah, wasn't my fault.
Gotta cut them off.
Yeah, I didn't cut them off. Actually, a couple like transferred schools, and the other one we just don't speak.
Just don't speak.
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, I guess. Oh well.
Yeah.
I hold no grudges. I'm happy to say that I hold no grudges in this life.
Really?
As soon as the Queen died, I realized, life is temporary.
Dude, I was so upset when the Queen died.
She was 96, so that's not really temporary, but I just realized, you're only here for so long. You have to put all that stuff to bed.
I would just love I wanted to take the Queen out for a date, I figured she probably has Alzheimer's or at least preset, and I could get her to marry me, I could be king. Then she could die. Yeah. But, not till she says I do.
You got the crown.
Yeah, I was pretty upset. I drink Crown, I watch Crown, all I can do, and it's just not enough.
I'm into older women.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. I used to say I was into older men, and my mom was like, "What?" And I meant because, on the dollar bills, they're all 140 years old.
Of course.
But she didn't get that because I didn't say that part of the joke.
You say that to your mom ever?
Oh, yeah, dude. I'm waiting for them. I feel like every time I come over, it's like, you can come out of the closet anytime. We're just waiting for it.
My mom always asks me, "You sure you're not?"
You sure?
And I'm like, "No."
I feel like of my brothers, I was definitely the most flamboyant.
Oh, dude, no! I had a stage.
Kevin Hart's skit talking about his son being gay.
Yeah,
that was me. I had a lot of gay moments.
As did I. I was in a play.
Oh,
my mom forced me to be in the
I
play.
was in show choir.
No.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Oh my goodness!
What you even have to do?
Dude, I was just like singing and dancing in these weird outfits.
I had a singing role.
Oh,
I had a solo.
a solo?
Could you believe that?
Dude.
Oh my gosh, what was the play called? It was some like Dr. Seuss thing.
Okay.
But I was there for like, it felt like forever, but it might have been like 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
But it's just funny because like, I don't know, I had just like this phase where I would like sing songs and shit. My grandma had like a Barbie doll like house or whatever.
Yeah.
I played with it a couple times. Nobody seemed to say shit then. I don't know. It was just there. I don't know. I did it like, I don't know why I did it. Not because like the colors or anything like that. I just did it. I'm not wearing women's panties today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I just never. I don't know.
I feel like I've said I love you more to my dad. Mm-hmm. You know? So I feel like
maybe there's a connection.
maybe there's a connection there.
Have you ever got an erection when he's walking in the room?
Only twice.
Okay, so it's a minimum.
Yeah. What were you just talking about? I had a really good
Well, the gay phase.
pass.
I used
Gay
to like.
phase.
I used to like sing
Yeah,
to like.
that was
movies.
why. That's what I mean. Like he was
the gay
like,
phase.
I said I love you more, and he was like, whoa,
Whoa, too far.
like
Yeah, it's gotten to a point in my
it was
house.
so bad he became a pastor. That's true.
Actually,
Yeah.
wow.
Actually, growing up, my parents were both in ministry. Like
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting time.
That's a great household. No, I feel like, to be honest, I feel like I've broken the barrier. I've said enough shit now where like my family's all like used to it.
Yeah.
My brother really gets it. They all probably get annoyed to an extent, but my brother really gets annoyed. He goes, dude, you're not funny. And I'm like, I'm not trying to prove that I am funny. It's just the habit.
Dude.
Of saying these things. Apparently, some people think I'm funny, but he doesn't because he knows the true side of me.
Yeah.
I guess.
It gets so tough. I always family events are interesting.
No, I'm cool with all my family.
I
but
never know like what to. We have split we're split on politics, so you know
that's not fun.
if you say Joe Biden, like it's the end of the world, you know, pretty much. So it's kind of like only politics or sports to talk about.
That's not fun.
It's really not. So I wish there was better ways for me to get, you know, more jokes in there, but sometimes the best is just sitting back and watching this chaos, you know?
Oh, are you
We
a fan
have
of
a
the
big
chaos?
family.
I love the chaos.
Me and my dad stir the pot.
Really?
Like, they'll all be sitting in a room and, like, we'll be like, yeah, but, you hear about Hunter Biden, yeah, he actually just got caught again, had more drugs on, like, just making stuff up.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, Hunter Biden, oh, you're trying, oh, like, it's just
And
a
then the
whole
war
thing,
starts.
dude.
It's
And we just
crazy.
go sit and we just listen to it. And
That's
nobody makes any sense in their points, you know?
Of course not.
No. There's
Nothing's
never.
from an informed perspective.
Even when it is. Even the people who are informed nowadays aren't informed.
Yeah.
You know?
There's just so much.
I'm like, look at this article, and I'm like, look at what's actually happening.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I'm not Republican, Democrat. It's like, it's too much.
Yeah.
They both suck, man. If we're being honest.
Who cares?
When you find out that, like, billionaires that we don't even know their names, they're the real ones that control the world. bro,
Exactly.
It sucks.
That's all I think. That's what I think.
The next election, I'm going to write my name in.
Yeah?
And I'm going to campaign for people. So if you're undecided right now and you don't know who you're going to vote for, Donald Trump, Joe Biden, shit, you could write Bill Cosby in. But if you really want to, write me in. It's not going to amount to anything, but at least you won't feel guilty.
I'm with it, man.
There we go.
Give me a pen.
If I was ever to become president, I would just hire a bunch of people, not hire, but I would get a bunch of people in my cabinet who were from the left and the right, and they'd have to be much smarter than me so I wouldn't feel like I'm not informed when I'm making decisions.
See, here's what I would do.
Go ahead.
I would definitely, I run as a libertarian. So you know what that means?
No shit!
So you know what that means? I wouldn't win.
Of course.
Yeah. But I definitely, if I won, I'm bringing in people from all sides, but I'm looking for good people, and I'm also not looking for people who are in politics as much.
Of course.
Like, I want people who own businesses to be in charge of those roles. You know, like the Senate and all that was originally supposed to be part-time.
Really?
I think it still is considered part-time. I'm not really 100% sure, but I know like it was like people who were in the community going to these meetings.
Yeah.
That was what it was all about. And
Yeah.
now it's like people who have millions of dollars going to these meetings.
Yeah, I know in terms
Finding
of
ways to get more.
yeah, bro. I know in terms of representatives, I know how Newt Gingrich, who was a Speaker of the House in the '90s, made it so that politicians, I don't even know, maybe I'm fucking this up. I hope
Yeah.
not, but like that they would be in DC more instead of like going back and having more time off with their families. It was more, or maybe it was less. I don't
Yeah.
know, but that seems to go with what you're saying.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And if it's not, oh well. I mean, I have my computer here, but I'm having too much fun to Google.
Yeah, all of it is all like screwed up, bro. No,
Yeah.
politics don't do anything anymore.
Do you think that's it? Or do you think it's that, like, we have the internet at our fingertips now, and so we just know so much more? Whereas back then, they couldn't really worry about anything because they could
That's
control us
why
through the
I
media.
think. Well, that's why they aren't. Well, that's why our generations above us aren't as well rounded.
That's an interesting take. Dive in deeper into
Without
that.
without social media, we see everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like so. Growing up, being in high school, college, when George Floyd goes down, like it doesn't matter. You're that age. You're seeing it everywhere
Exactly.
online. Like I feel like that it of course more connects to the people who are 18, 19, 20 in that time
Yeah.
than it does to anyone else. But I think like seeing those events happen so much really helped make us more rounded than like a generation from the 70s. Like when I think of like the 60s, when they're smoking pot all the time, everybody's on mushrooms.
It's not just that.
Acid,
LSD.
everything.
Yeah.
And like I feel like those generations like we go to them for wisdom now, and we're like,
I don't.
yeah,
No.
I avoid him. My grandpa was in Vietnam, No, I'm just kidding. I don't avoid him. That's my studio's at his house, actually.
No shit.
Yeah.
No, I respect all these people that the boomers, but in a lot of ways they're kind of like, I don't know.
I don't mean the boomers though.
Are you talking about the people above the boomers?
I mean the people who are more like. You have the boomers, but then like you have an outlandish boomer. Like you have the boomer who's like 55, or I guess that's not a boomer.
Maybe like 60.
Yeah, let's say you're 60 and now you're like, well, I was going to retire, but I'm kind of bored.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go work at a factory for the next like 10 years just because I'm bored. Like those people,
Yeah.
I feel like have so much more wisdom to bring the table. A lot of times those people who are like older in like warehouse jobs like that, who are like almost in their 60s, like that means their whole life was probably pretty rough.
Yeah.
Like if they're only there, so the amount of wisdom that those people have is unbelievable.
Yeah,
you know?
I would say that.
I don't know what I'm even saying about them being more well-rounded, but sometimes I think with those drugs being so popular in the 50s, 60s, like at times, like I feel like there's a lot more people who have open minds on certain topics like
Yeah,
that.
but then there's
I
a
don't
lot
even
of
know.
there's a lot of boomers who are just closed-minded. And
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, we have to get our country back to."
Yeah.
But it's like you're literally forgetting, you're
Maybe-
neglecting all the shit that happened back
Maybe,
then.
maybe it's this. Maybe there's just three groups of people. There's Republicans, there's Democrats, and there's everybody else,
Yeah.
right?
I like to be in the everybody else
That's right.
category.
Everybody else. And everybody else is normal. They're just like chilling, trying to
Yeah,
be happy.
I truly like
And
to
then
believe.
all these people are too involved in they're just too involved in what other people do. Like
Yeah.
it's so stupid.
Do you have Facebook?
Yeah, not much.
Too
but
many.
it's-
I don't go on it. I only go on it if like one of my family members invites me to like
Yeah.
RSVP to an event or whatever. But like you'd see, bro, like too many people get in political arguments.
Yeah.
And like too many. I'm sorry, but nobody gives a shit about your dead dog that died 5 years ago. It's dead for a reason. Nobody gives a shit about it. Stop talking about it. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize people still had dead dogs after 5 years. Like I thought
That's-
you could only carry a dead dog card for max a
Okay.
year.
And also, can I say something that also bothers me? with like people on Facebook. Your dead relative can't see your post. They just can't. So they're not going to say thank you for, saying you're sorry about my... It's just, they're gone.
Oh, chances are if they're that old, they're very religious. So actually, they probably didn't see your post.
So stop posting about it. I don't want to see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just me.
I'm not an old people guy sometimes.
No, I'm an old people guy. To an extent. Not sexually.
Yeah?
Unless it's the right type of girl.
Okay.
Unless she has values.
Okay, if a girl, what's the highest age you go?
Okay, so personality...
Is 64 too high?
The highest I've ever thought about? Not sexually, but like just...
What's the highest you've ever been while you've thought about it? Oh.
I've never... I've actually never been high.
Really?
I've been drunk, obviously.
Yeah.
But I've never been high, technically.
Dude, I used to...
Can we hang out more?
We can, dude. I used to, black out all the time.
Really?
Yeah. It's nice.
I've actually never blacked out.
It's only happened a couple times to me, but like I say blackout, I mean like we used to drink a lot, and
Really?
even now like it's every weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
We do.
Where at?
Usually at least one night at our apartment where me and my roommate, and we'll have some people over every now and again. But
I got you. That sounds like a good time. Man.
yeah, sometimes I get a couple high school buddies together.
Oh, okay.
They're the best because I'm the kind of guy with them where I'm like, dude, another shot, let's go. It's been like 2 minutes, let's do another one.
And you're still a young guy too.
I'm only 20. I can hold it a lot better than they can.
I mean,
no, my one buddy Gerd can hold it a lot better than I can, I'm sure, but he always takes care of me. When
sounds like a good guy.
he's a great guy, man. But that's me at a party.
I got you.
Yeah.
You seem like a fun party type.
I hear that, but I don't know. I gotta be comfortable.
I see what you're saying.
Like I hate like crowded areas.
Okay.
So like I don't really like going to like a house party that's like 40 people, 50 people. Like
Yeah.
I want like a group of 10 people max.
I see what you're saying.
Sometimes comedy's like that too, where you only want a couple people in the audience who are more focused on what you're saying than having a big audience who's constantly checking their phones, going up, ordering drinks,
I can imagine. I mean, obviously,
It's
I've
nice.
never been in that situation, but it feels like if that were to happen to me, I'd feel disrespected. But, like, I guess you can't, right?
Yeah. I used to use one bar in Newcastle. It's called Patsy's. There's also one in Camel, but they aren't connected. It's called Patsy's, though, and they had, like, a little room in the back. And we would do stand-up comedy. It was like a bar/restaurant, and it was like 8 tables set up in this little tiny room. Mm-hmm. But they were the best shows.
Really?
Because there was very little people there.
That's what people say. It's like more
Everyone's
personal.
drawn in. It's more personal. You could do crowd work, and it's really personal, and it's really great.
How many times have you done crowd work?
I kind of like once or twice a show is the max I try right now. I really want to do it more, but I feel like every time I'm like, let's do crowd work tonight. Like, it's never a good time to do crowd. Like, there's
Really?
no crowd. Or,
I see.
Like, sometimes open mics, you're just going to test out jokes. Mm-hmm. It's the same people every week. They're just coming to test out jokes. People don't come back to watch them,
Yeah.
So, like, I'll go and do a show on Thursday nights, usually called Hatfields.
Where's that at?
It's up in Cleveland and Lakewood, I believe. But I used to do them a lot on Tuesday nights. On Thursday nights. And it was just like, there was never a crowd. So I'd be like, let's do some crowd work tonight. There's like 2 people in the audience. And like everybody else is a comedian.
Have you ever found, like, if you're going on after somebody, maybe they have an audience, whatever, and then you go on, you pick up the mic, and all of a sudden people just, like, start leaving? Like, have you ever, what's that like? How do you combat that?
Oh, you just got to comment on it. Like, oh, yeah, show's over. I guess that's what's going on. Like you got to...
Yeah.
You got to be straight on about it. Be like, yep, have a great night, guys.
I don't even have any chill. I feel like if that ever happened to me, which obviously if I continue, it definitely will, I'd be like, I don't know, first one who leaves is gay. One of those things.
Yeah, I stray away from, I don't fight, I'm not a fighter.
Neither am I.
So I
can't.
I've never been an insulter. Like I
see what you're saying.
can't do it. Usually it's like low, really like low things that aren't gonna
I see.
go over the top for
I
the
see.
most part. So
Sometimes I've been told that I definitely step over the line for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
You have to.
it's bad at times.
you have
but
to just know where your line's at.
I do a lot. A lot of it comes when I'm talking to family, but once again, I feel like I've broken the barrier. You know what I mean? My family, we all have like a sense of humor, but for whatever, they were asking, we all had like a family meeting, like where are we going to go on vacation? And everybody was saying, and they go, Luke, where do you want to go? And I said Appalachia. I guess they all got a kick out of that, but I was serious. Just to see how good we really have it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? To go to like the lowest of the low.
that's how I know you're in college.
Exactly. I want to walk around and see
Talking about
heroin
Europe.
needles. Yeah, yeah.
I feel like when you're 20, you're like, whoa, Europe, that's a place. Let's go right now.
I'd like to go to Europe one day.
Like, I feel like 20th birthday, like, that's the first thought. Now I'm 20, I gotta go to Europe.
What's the correlation with being 20 in Europe?
I don't know, because you're in your 20s, 20, 30,
I definitely want to go.
That's when people go, I feel like. Unless you're prosperous.
I see.
You got some money.
Yeah.
You got some paper that has no value, actually.
It really doesn't.
No, it's just piece of paper.
It's crazy when you
There's
really,
no gold standard.
Yeah, they removed it in the 70s.
Yeah.
Ever since then, it literally has, it's worth nothing. And people just use it as a form of
They
trade.
love it.
It's crazy.
And everybody wants it.
I can't wait till the world falls apart.
It's going to.
When do you think? And are you prepared?
Is it going to? Here's the thing: the world's already falling apart,
Right, but I'm
and
talking
it is falling apart probably right now, but it's behind closed doors falling apart. I mean, look at the stock market; it's falling apart. It's never gonna. I don't know if it's ever gonna like fully fall apart outside of disaster, like nuclear disaster or environmental disaster
Yeah.
or something like that.
I'm talking about like a societal
But
collapse.
like a societal collapse, I think, it couldn't happen.
No, I disagree. You
Not
saw-
here,
Ah.
unless there was we're talking Walking Dead type shit. That's a little different.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking a virus, obviously that's the easiest way to kill
not
a
even
country, and
talking
we
that.
all know it.
I'm not even
right?
talking that.
What are you talking about?
Okay. So you saw what happened. There were little spurts of this, little tiny glimpses of what could happen. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, but anyway, going back. Anyway. Anyway, people were getting bricks and throwing it through the windows, and you could see how people were really upset.
Yeah.
And people would just go into stores and just take shit. You know what I mean? So there was that, and then
People said that, and I'm like, this was probably already happening in those neighborhoods.
Yeah,
Like, this is a
exactly.
normal day.
Yeah.
They're calling it, I'm like, this is just everyday stealing in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
And then you see what happened at the Capitol, and it's like, that could happen anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
And then I thought, bro, these laws and these rules that we've put in place as a society, they really don't mean shit.
No.
And at any given moment, if people ever just decided, I'm going to drive on, instead of the right side of the road, I'm going to drive on the left side, and
Yeah.
I'm going to go through traffic lights, because who's going to enforce it? I feel like as soon as that happens, bro, split second, it'll change.
Everyone, they'll take you to jail. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
No, but that's not true.
I don't know.
There's more of us than there are of them. There's so much more.
Yeah. I just don't think it'll ever get there. I don't think, there's a lot of anarchists out there. I don't think we'll ever get that far.
Well, like you said, we have to take.
It will. Obviously, there's a point where government collapses, but it seems so far out because money controls everything.
Right.
So never been this far with technology before. Now we're communicating with China in seconds.
Yeah,
It used to be we wouldn't hear back for weeks. So with where we're at now, it's almost like I feel like there's always a person who's going to be able to. They're going to take the power. I'm not saying they're going to do what's right, but they'll prevent a societal collapse.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of see it as in politics.
Now, what do you think? Here's my thing. So, I wanted to build off what I just said. If there was a solar flare, say, and say like a city like New York where they're really dependent on electricity.
Oh, hey, just so you guys know, I am a scientist. I have an LLC, so I can give myself any position I want.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm a scientist too.
Good.
Yes.
We should get matching coats.
We should.
Sorry, what were you saying? Go
What
back
was I
into it.
saying? Yeah, if there was like a solar flare in New York, all those people rely on
Yes.
technology like exclusively. Not like us, where some people live off the land. After like 3 days, I feel like everything would be like just chaos there. Because think about it, bro. They don't have like cars. Most of them don't have cars. So first, let's say the power goes out, right? Everything's dark. Well, then there's going to be more rioting and looting because like there's no cameras, there's no consequences. Then
Well, wait. Think about this, though. Remember in May... Oh, shoot, that wasn't electricity. That was gas. Mm-hmm. I was thinking of May 2021 with the gas shutdown.
Yeah.
Remember when all that happened?
Yeah.
Dude, when that happened, I was on an island in the Atlantic Ocean.
Really?
Yeah, I was at... Well, not I say that. I'm just being over the top.
I
I was at the Outer Banks. But, anyways, still. We were there and we were really worried about, like, not being able to get gas all week. But I think, like, electricity is the easiest way to take us out, but in reality, we'll recover and we'll figure it out.
Well, I don't
That's
know
how I
because think about it. If there was like a solar flare and the grid was shut
Well,
down.
yeah. Well, that's different.
Yeah,
Like you
that's
said,
what I was gonna say.
The grid shut down, but even then, I think people are always looking for the next plan. I think even if that happened, like they have plans in place ready to go.
I don't know because then
They've got to, right?
After electricity goes,
What are
right,
these government people doing besides planning for this
your
stuff?
computer can only last for so long on a charge or your phone or whatever. Then when communication's gone, right, your refrigerator goes out. So now all your food's eventually going to go bad.
Right.
So now everybody's going to be like invading the stores and shit.
Well,
And-
hold on. Why wouldn't we just use another form of electricity?
Well, I'm saying if everything goes down.
But like,
Hypothetically,
would a
like
solar
tomorrow.
flare take down like solar panels?
I would imagine there's not a lot of solar
I know
panels.
I'm a scientist. I know you're a scientist.
Right. We have degrees.
Yeah, but degrees of knowledge,
Exactly.
and it's maybe not all the way up here, but it's definitely like I could help out someone who has COVID. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I liked your joke on getting a vaccine in New York.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Can you tell everybody about it?
Dude, this guy came up to me, he was like, "You want a vaccine?" And I was like, "Heck yeah!" Rolled up my sleeve.
Yeah.
Got this string. It was kind of like rubber tied around. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt it immediately.
Really?
Like I immediately felt like I was above everyone else. Like I was just so up there.
Well, because you were safe.
I was safe. I had that mindset of security. You know, if you ever watch like Paul Blart, like I was in that kind of zone. And then he told me I got 5 more vaccines for 5 more friends.
There you go.
For 125. So
There you go.
not bad.
Where'd this all happen? Was it like in a pharmacy or whatever?
No, it was in New York.
Oh.
In an alley. In New
Oh.
York. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I'm pretty sure Uncle Ben died there back in the early 2000s.
Really?
Yeah.
Of a vaccine or?
Well, not that I know of. I mean, I'm pretty sure he was shot. But he could have been
heroin?
stabbed with heroin.
Yes.
He could have been shot up with heroin too.
I gotcha.
You gotta watch out for that.
Of course. What was I going to say? I was going to say something I forgot. Oh my gosh. I forgot what I was going to say. But going back to it, I don't know if like New York has a lot of solar panels like that.
Like I wonder though, like if there was a solar flare, if we still have other alternatives for technology, like solar power.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that could be a whole different story.
Right, but
we're not prepared for a natural disaster like that.
That's what I'm saying.
But I do think that they would be like, I think that immediately the government, if that was an option, would cease like all of that from the people.
Yeah.
That'd be like the first thing.
What do you think about California banning the sale of gasoline cars after 2035?
Dude, I saw that.
Well, people are making, on the right, like Fox News, they're making it out to be more than it is. Because
that's all California people buy outside of... Dude, they need to make it a separate state between North Cal and SoCal.
You think? I know there's definitely a difference. But what people on the right are saying is it would be like all gasoline cars. That's not true. So used gasoline cars would still be there, and you could still get it shipped to your state. All it is the sale of new gasoline cars in California. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that's reasonable. I don't think it's draconian or authoritarian
They're,
like they're
here's
making
the
it out to
thing.
be.
You live there. They're
Yeah,
allowed to do what they
exactly.
want. And businesses who are there, like, it's your choice to be there. You can move, especially if you're a car dealership.
Yeah.
Like,
Move to Texas.
go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Why would you want to be in California anyways?
exactly. Well, I know.
Now, here's the thing that I'm interested in. What happens when all these luxury cars keep coming out as gasoline in 2035, and then these rich people are like, how do I buy a car?
I'm sure they're going to convert. A lot of them are already converting.
Yeah, I keep seeing more and more of these. I don't like them.
Really? Why?
I work at the battery plant. I don't like.
Oh shit! I didn't. I didn't put two and two
I work
together.
at Ultium. I do not like it. I don't know. I don't really think the technology is going to last.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that it's crazy that we didn't all switch to hybrids.
Mm-hmm. My grandpa has a hybrid. It works well. He says he only fills up maybe once or twice every month.
Yeah, hybrids are awesome, but like now they're kind of starting to catch on a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a certain point where it made sense for more Americans to switch over to hybrids, and then nobody really did. And so they were like, well, let's just try to get them to switch to all electric.
Do you think that's like the marketing behind it?
I thought it was the whoever, like the environmental science agencies or organizations, like putting money behind advertising for hybrids to eventually get to electric cars. Obviously, I would think that's the goal. But it's almost like nobody was like, I'll pay more for gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
And it's like you still fill up with gas.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, man. I want the Cybertruck.
yeah.
That shit. My goal, not a goal. It's something. It's a short term wanting.
Yeah.
We'll call it. I want to feel like I'm better than everybody else.
I'd love to get like the new Chevy Silverado,
It looks cool.
like with the battery, with the battery power or whatever. But like, dude, it's like that truck feeling, bro. You're driving the truck.
I got a truck. It's nice. It's fun.
Come on.
You just put the volume up.
Your dick
max.
gets so much smaller.
I put on.
It's crazy.
yeah, I can attest to that.
Things are taking off.
There
you
is
know?
some shrinkage
There-
once you sign the dotted line.
Yeah, that's what George would say. Some
George would
shrinkage.
say, yeah. I had a thing about people that drove trucks before I had a truck. It was like a little bit, and then I had to do away with it once I did stand up for the first time.
Did you get the ball sack for your truck?
No.
No.
I'm not one of those people. I just had it because I co-own a lawn care and landscaping business with my brother. So
okay.
I used to tow shit with a Honda Accord, but you kind of look homeless when you do that.
A little bit.
Yeah, so we had to upgrade a little
There you
bit.
go.
But yeah, it was the three types of people. So the first one, they grow up short and they want to feel taller than everybody, so they get a truck. Gosh, what was the second and the third? It's been such a long time since I've even thought about this. Second one, they're hicks, so we just give them a pass. We don't assault them because those are the guys with the guns.
Yeah.
And then the third one, I forget the third one, but it was, I don't know. But, like, there's so many guys that, they get out of trucks, whatever, they drive trucks, and then they need another step to step down because they're so short.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Dude, that's why, Trailer Park Boys, there's an episode where it's like all about like getting small guy, or it's all about trucks.
Yeah.
And the one guy's got a really small like box truck. He's like, that's not even a truck, man. He's like, well, people who drive trucks have small wieners, so maybe this is a good thing. And
I can attest to that.
by the end of the episode, they have run into someone who is a short guy with this giant lifted truck, and he's like jumping to get in. He's got like 1 foot up, like just trying to get enough momentum. It was so funny.
Have you ever encountered a midget before? Like a true midget?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they like?
Like, I didn't taste him.
Okay, well,
I got a good sniff. I thought it was cocaine in his hair, but it turned out it was dandruff.
Okay. Well, you could see it though.
Like I could feel it.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Emotionally?
on the inside.
Oh, that's nice. Warm?
Kind of like, this isn't how cocaine feels.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But then also kind of like, how do I know what cocaine feels like?
How would you know?
That's also a good question.
That's a great question.
I've had people tell me before, they're like, I just want to try it once. And I'm like, I think I'm alright.
I'm okay.
I think I'm good. Like, I'd love to try, like, psychedelics.
I'm right there with you.
That's what I want. You
But
know?
hopefully my mom... But even I told her that,
Yeah.
too. You know, the religious type, they freak out a little bit on you.
Well, now, like, when people are dying, like, they give them...
It's more
they give them
accepted.
mushrooms
People
and
with
shit.
PTSD, too.
Yeah.
Soldiers with traumatic brain
Yeah.
injuries, they're testing it out. I think it's very beneficial.
It's crazy.
It's very beneficial. Obviously, I've never tried anything like that. But I've encountered somebody that offered. Actually, the night I got arrested, there was a guy who offered me mushrooms. He's like, "You want to do mushrooms?" I was like, I mean, we're in a party setting. I'm pretty scared. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you. but
Maybe
no
if you would have
thank
done the
you.
mushrooms, you wouldn't have run into the cops.
Well, the cops busted the party. Yeah, like 20 minutes after.
Oh, dang.
Bro, listen, that was Halloween, weekend before Halloween.
That sucks.
No, no, it's not. I saw so many girls there that were just bad.
No, but it sucks
Right,
that...
right. But we went to another party, so it was all good.
We thought you got arrested.
Well, that was later on.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So not that party.
Yeah, so what we did at that party, after the party got busted, we were walking back. It was my friends and I. And there was a truck. And the truck had bush orange just in the bed for us to see.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh, somebody should take it. So I did it. I took it. And ironically, like an hour and a half later, that was the beer that I got arrested with. Karma's a bitch, man.
Yeah.
Karma's a bitch. That was God telling me no.
No.
Yeah.
Not bush orange. Should have
Not
got bush
orange.
apple.
I
What
never
are you
done
doing?
it. I have had bush apple. That's a lie. But ironically, the cop who arrested me, get this, I'm literally chained to the floor, right? In the we'll call it a holding room. And he's literally saying, oh, bush orange. He goes, bush apple's better. As I'm cuffed, bro. And he's telling me where to get it. Mind you, I was arrested for alcohol under 21 and lying to him about it. This dude's giving me all the places to go. I was like, you're really doing your job, sir. And then he's like, here's your ticket. We'll see you in court on Monday.
Dude, the drunkest I've ever been was with my high school buddies the one time threw up all over his basement.
Really?
But like I said, my buddy David was there. He was a G. But then another time, I was up in I don't want to admit to doing a crime.
I mean,
Who cares?
Yeah.
I turn 21 next weekend.
There you go.
I was up in a place near a body of water.
Okay.
And we were going to a lot of restaurants, and we started out with 2 shots of tequila in the morning.
Oh.
And we just kept bar hopping, and like we were trying to play pool and stuff. I was young. So I was doing all that. We're at the log cabin, and I'm ordering wings.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone. There's a guy across from me who won't stop. He just won't shut up.
Yeah.
He keeps talking about these Long Island iced teas. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm ordering a Long Island iced tea. After I had just drank 2 vodka and Sprites.
Oh, my.
So I was already... Now, look, that's where I was at just that bar.
Right.
We were out all day drinking we were out in the water. We had Ciroc in a water bottle out there. We were taking shots out there. Like, it was crazy. And so we're sitting at this bar, and I'm ordering, get a Long Island. I chug the Long Island pretty much. Because when you're that drunk and they give you a straw.
Water. It's water.
Like, it's water at that point. So I chug it, and my wings are done. They come out. I'm sitting there. We're talking to my one buddy. He's having issues with his dad.
Hopefully not
my
sexually.
cousin. No, not yet.
Oh.
I know. But my cousin, it is my uncle. My cousin, they were having some issues that night, and my mom walks into the bar, and I'm sitting there, and she's like, oh, what'd you get? And I was like, oh, Crown and Coke. And she's like, what? And I was like, Crown and Coke? And she's like, I would hope not. You're underage. Like, she starts yelling it out in the bar. I'm like, just throwing me under the bus like that? Oh, my goodness. So I go and I walk out. I don't even look at it. I just grab my wings, I book it, and I go back because we were on vacation.
You dined and dashed.
Yeah. Well, no, I paid. I paid.
Okay.
I left a good tip.
I got you. That's good. That's good.
But I left. I wasn't staying with them on this vacation. I was just staying near them.
Right.
Went to my college, was with my cousins, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I just messed up, like, the worst I've ever messed up. Like, I was freaking out. And I was also wobbling, you know, because I couldn't keep my balance.
Oh, boy.
And so my parents are allegedly, this is what my cousins told me, my parents are walking. It looks like they're on their way to come talk to me about it. And my uncle is down just, like, being a bitch down by the ocean.
As uncles are sometimes.
Yeah, it was just kind of a rough weekend. Like, nothing towards him. It's just been a rough past with him and everything. So, he was just looking for attention. And
Don't we all want attention sometimes?
yeah, but he was starting a lot of issues that night. So because he was doing that, they got diverted to go back to him. So then I never talked about it with my parents.
Really?
Really. And I don't think they'll make it this far in the podcast anyways, but I never talked about it with my parents.
That's like, you dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things I used to, you go, when you play sports in high school, you gotta go.
By the time my mom came over, she forgot about it.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe she didn't know I was drunk and she thought I was joking. But at that point, I feel like you don't know. You know something's up. And I was like standing there and I'm like trying to keep my balance.
Yeah.
She comes around the corner and she's sitting there watching fireworks with us. I'm like keeping my distance, making sure, I don't want to have any confrontation with her. And I'll stay next to people and stuff,
So that's the drunkest you've ever been?
That was the drunkest I've ever been, and it was the worst because I'm like trying not to be drunk with my mother standing right there.
Yeah.
And I'm under I'm at a bar. Like, it's crazy times.
The drunkest I've ever been, so I went to a Catholic high school. And so the graduation ceremony, it was like you had awards day, so you wore cap and gown, which, whatever.
Yeah.
Baccalaureate mass, which was like your graduation mass, and then graduation. So that Friday, the night of the baccalaureate mass, went back to, after everything happened, we went back to the house that all the parties were at.
Yeah.
The parents were pretty chill. Everybody needs that one house in high school. So we went, and it was like all of our class, whatever, right? And I said, you know what? I'm sleeping over my friend's house, so let's just test our tolerance.
Yeah.
So, a couple shots at Tito's, and after like 7, and I did it really quick, and I was pissed because I didn't feel shit. And so I had to, I just did it real quick.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I had salt, carrying around salt with me, just putting them, just going, right? So next thing I know, as from what I can remember, it was around 14 and a couple beers. And I was walking around with the damn thing, and everything was blurry. But I've never blacked out, so I was in full, I was cognitive, basically.
Yeah.
And so how do I say?
Here's how I look at blacking out.
Okay.
If you can't remember what happened, if you can't remember a lot of the events that happened that night, the next day, that's how I feel like. That's like when you look at a video on Snapchat and you're like, I don't remember that happening last night.
Yeah,
that's how I know when I blacked out.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens. We we were doing cartwheels in front of the apartment building.
Yeah.
My apartment building one night. It was like 1 a.m. and we're down and we're drinking twisted teas. And my roommate's like, let's do cartwheels, man. I'm like, I'm not doing a cartwheel. We did them. It was weird.
Really?
Really.
Well, then I think I blacked out because I didn't remember the later part. So
that's how I look at it.
Okay, so I definitely blacked out.
Yeah.
So then my friend, her dad ran for mayor, and it was probably 2 months prior. So in all my drunken glory, mind you, I'm a happy drunk. We were all with each other for like the last time, and so I go, did your dad win?
Yeah.
She goes, oh no. And I remember starting to laugh. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm slurring my words. Yeah. So then my one friend, my best friend at the time, mind you, he wasn't there. So he picked all of us up, and we all slept over his house. right? And I remember going to bed. First of all, I had the presence of mind to throw up in the toilet before I went to bed, and it felt great. I didn't feel it was just a stomach. My stomach turned really quick. I went, took a knee, and threw up. It was great. So then I fell asleep on the floor, like kind of up against the wall, and then I woke up, and I woke up on the couch, and I'm thinking, okay, I had a dream that I pissed on his carpet, just like this, just carefree.
Yeah.
And, I was obviously I was aiming all over. Practically wrote my name in the damn thing.
Yeah.
Right? And I woke up, and I was on the couch, and I was under a blanket. And I was like, that's a little bit odd. And then I take off the blanket, I go, shit, where are my shorts? Oh, shit. So I walk over, and sure enough, my shorts were soaking wet. Oh, yes. And the pee stain was substantially large. It was about 5 feet in diameter.
Yeah.
So I did what any rational person would do at 4 a.m. hungover. I went into his bathroom down there. And the only thing he had was conditioner.
Yeah.
So I just got all that shit, spread it all on the carpet as fast as possible, right? And as much as possible. Because it was a rational thing to do.
Yeah.
So, and at that
There was
point,
bleach in it, wasn't there?
well,
No, I'm
probably-
joking.
I don't know. But at that point, you can't fall back to sleep.
No.
And so I'm just pretending to be asleep for the next 3 hours, bro. His dad came downstairs because the laundry room was right there as well, and didn't say a thing. So I was pretty happy. I thought maybe it dried, maybe it didn't smell. So that was good. But I didn't tell my friend that, whose house it was until like 6 months prior. And, like I said in the beginning of the video, we don't speak.
Yeah.
Also, we all went to a job interview the next day. A couple of us were hungover and got the job.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Did he get the job?
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
And
yes.
you?
Yes, I got the job.
Okay, good.
Yes. I didn't really have to act that much.
No pee test?
No pee test. It was
Good thing because you wouldn't have had any.
No, I wouldn't have. It was what was it? It was a golf range.
Oh.
So that was a fun day though. We went to White House. I saw one of the people from my church that is now studying to become a priest.
Yeah.
So that was fun to try and act cognitive and lucid. It was hard. I think he had to have been able to tell. You know how you just have that face.
Yeah.
That just
You ask all the right questions.
just the sloshed face. Like,
Oh, you're liking it.
like one of those, because when we had to go obviously face my friend's mom that we were sleeping over his house.
Yeah.
So I turned.
Hot mom?
No, I mean I'm not gonna. She's like a second mom.
Okay.
I'm not. But literally, bro, we all walked in. And
She like a second wife, maybe?
we all walked in, and I was trying so hard to look sober. And like I said, I probably was like one of those. You hype yourself up. Okay, I'm sober.
Yeah.
I'm sober. And it just never works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that. It was pretty revealing. It was bad. A couple days ago, bro. A couple weeks ago, my friends from out of town finally came home. We had like a fantasy draft, so they were all at this one.
Who you got?
At this draft, it was
Who's your big grab?
Dalvin Cook was the first one. I had 8. That league, I'm 0-1 right now.
Yeah.
But this other league, Brandon Cooks fell to like the 10th round. I snagged him up. Aaron Rodgers, round 13.
Wow. There you go.
But it was one of those things where that's my Struthers league.
Hopefully you didn't start him.
I did. Still won.
Still?
I'm nice in that league.
Oh, yeah, you still won in that league?
Mm-hmm.
I won just, my team is called the Punctured Lungs,
Oh.
headed by quarterback Justin Herbert.
Oh.
Because of the...
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
you know what
course.
I'm talking about?
Of
Yeah,
course.
'cause of the-
That's
yeah,
how he
Tyler.
got his first start.
Yeah,
And it's been smooth sailing since.
it is, yeah.
Obviously.
I'm doing Dynasty Fantasy.
Oh, what's that
So,
like?
Never change, like it rolls over.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
It's different, I would imagine.
Yeah, but you got to pay attention to a lot of stuff.
Yeah. That's not for me.
Yeah, like even in the off season, like it's really for true. Like I say, it's really for people who only watch football.
Yeah.
And it's like your team stays the same, but you're making like one roster move a week
Yeah, that's what you're
at
saying.
least. Even in the off season, that's how much you're making. In season, it should be crazy.
Yeah.
But in the off season, you're still like active. You're still scouting out players. You'll have a rookie draft every year.
That's good though because it keeps you engaged.
It's something to do, you know. And so I'm really excited, dude. We won this week. Scored the second most points in the league.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm feeling good.
What team are you? What fan of you? A fan of a team?
I'm a Bills fan.
Well, congratulations.
Thanks. We're finally decent. Most of my life they sucked,
I'm a
but
Browns fan.
they were always better than the Browns. You know, so it always worked out.
Yeah, you know, growing up, our Browns teams that I rooted for had about 4 or 5 wins. Bills had about 6, 7.
Yeah, that's kind of how it always went.
Yeah. Good
Like
for
we
you.
were getting there,
Good for you.
but we never were. And then we
Well,
finally
I
did.
mean, now here you are.
Yeah.
You're relevant. You're pretty relevant. You're favored to win a Super Bowl by a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's a good time.
I'm going to the Browns-Bills game this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, we have a couple buddies. We have a group chat. Last year we went to Pittsburgh for Ben's last game. We didn't know, obviously. Yep.
I was there.
Were you really?
I sat in the third row.
We sat in like row 12, but it was interesting for sure. We
Who knew we were? That's crazy, man.
crazy.
I went there like out of nowhere. One of my roommates, a family member of my roommate was like, "Yeah, I'll give you some money and drive us up there, and then like I'll give you money for a ticket and stuff." And so we got there. They gave me money for a ticket, and I was like, "Well, let me take some of this other money I got and upgrade my seat." And I got like this crazy deal, and I was second row, and they were like, "Are you ready to go?" And it was like the end of the fourth quarter. I was like, "He's gonna come back out here and do like a whole tribute. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, they
So
treated
I
him
in
like
there
he
for
was.
a while.
They treated him like it was the second coming. It was a little annoying.
It was,
Yeah.
but
My one
necessary.
friend.
Like they gotta
Yeah.
solve-
My one friend who's a Browns fan, he was like, "No, I'm gonna see you." I was like, "Okay, dude. Like, why? What are you doing?"
Yeah,
I got you. But yeah, it was crazy. We did it. We got the tickets at the beginning of the season. We thought, okay, you know, both are playoff caliber teams. Maybe this will like decide the seeding.
Yeah.
And you know, it didn't, obviously. But it was bad. It was really bad. We went. It was cold as hell.
I remember.
You remember? I didn't wear enough clothes.
you know, you never thought Ben was that bad. I feel like you watch him on TV, you're like, "Oh, he's not that bad."
He was better
And
than Baker.
You see him in person, and you're like, "Holy crap! How did he just throw the ball more than 13 yards?"
Yeah, it was a miracle at some of the times, I will say.
Yeah.
I don't know how they had a winning record, bro.
No,
I don't know how. I mean, the defense, I know how, but it's terrible.
they did him wrong.
Yeah. You think?
I like Baker in Cleveland. I thought that was the best fit for him.
After hearing all the stuff that came out, like with him,
Yeah.
and how he kind of sabotaged the team. 4 picks on Christmas Day. I mean, that ruined Christmas for me. I don't really like Christmas compared to some of the other holidays to begin with, but that really killed it for
But
me.
you know, the NFL just wants it's just trying to bring sadness for the Browns. Like, we'll make them play on Christmas. Oh,
Why? They literally ruined Christmas.
that's how it goes. The Bills played on Thanksgiving not the last 2 years. Last year they did, and then I think not the year before, but the year before that, and they beat Dallas. It was like their coming out game.
Yeah.
They were gay. Then we played the Saints last year. We shut them out, I think.
Yeah.
And then now on Thanksgiving we play again this year. We play Detroit. MCDC.
I mean, I think it's a guaranteed W, right?
Dude, I don't know that. Look, Motor City Dan Campbell. He's my favorite coach in the NFL, and obviously it should be Sean McDermott.
Mine's John Gruden.
I really like the second coming of Henry Ruggs and Devontae Adams.
Listen,
I think that's awesome.
say what you want about Henry Ruggs. That guy was a killer on the field.
He was.
He was a killer.
On and off.
Oh my gosh. Fast as hell, too.
Fast. Oh my gosh, I remember him coming out.
Yeah.
That was all it was.
Yeah.
He was fast.
Yeah. I remember that, too. Oh, the deep
This guy can run faster
He's
than
gonna be
everybody
phenomenal.
else. He's going to be able to drive faster than everybody else, too.
And you know what? He proved that he could.
Well, he proved that he could drive faster than like a couple people.
Yeah.
They can't even speak.
Not the cops.
Not the cops.
Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy. What a franchise, but they might win the Super Bowl.
They could.
They might. No, obviously they lost to the Chargers week 1.
Raiders
But
aren't
like,
going to win the Super Bowl.
you don't think? I think they have a chance.
Not with the coach, bro. It's Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just saying the roster,
First year,
roster-wise.
Roster-wise,
I think they have a chance.
It's a great roster.
Yeah.
But Devontae Adams it seemed like kind of a. No, actually,
he put up 30 points for me.
He had a slow start, but then he figured it out at the end.
Derek Carr threw 3 picks, though. I think that's just like figuring everything out.
Dude, some of these games this weekend were nuts.
Yeah.
I was watching as many as I could, but yeah.
It's a crazy. It's gonna be a crazy season. I know that. I can't wait till Deshaun Watson plays. Not because I support fondling of.
Well, dude, I want a massage. Like
Yeah, bitch, I want a massage.
Like, if she's not getting the right knot,
Can
I
I-
think I
yeah.
deserve a happy ending.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like sex work should be legal. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And not because I would not pay for sex work.
Libertarians.
Yes,
dude.
and I think I truly do align with the beliefs of libertarians. More, I don't identify with like a specific party, but libertarians make the most sense to me.
That's how I feel.
Why can't sex work be legal? It's already legal, like on OnlyFans.
Go to what's it called? Not Ozark. Where's the place at in across the Europe in the UK?
Portugal.
No,
Right?
like everything's legal. Like weed's
Amsterdam?
legal. Amsterdam. Why did I think of what did I say?
Rap lyrics.
Yeah.
Kanye West.
Oh,
In
what
the song "Breathe In, Breathe Out," something something. Plus, it's legal in Amsterdam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking on mine.
But yeah, Amsterdam, it's crazy.
Amsterdam, yeah.
I feel like if we legalized everything, sure, people would die, whatever. There'd be a little bit more death than usual. But then again, it mellows out because people are
I
still
don't
going to
think
get it
we would.
regardless. You think?
I think that we obviously I feel like everybody thinks that people who go in for drug offenses should go to rehab. But like I feel
think
like drugs are your decision. Like
Yeah, I agree.
it's is what it is. And it's tough, but like if you don't want to get off them, you don't want to get off them.
Yeah. On a more serious note, like people who get put away from weed, it's more than you would think too.
Oh, I know.
And like, especially it's people in the minority communities.
And then they're in there and they get more charges that are just dumb, like
Yeah,
for fighting or
it's
something stupid.
It's stupid. And a lot of these people are like leaders of families in like impoverished communities,
Mm-hmm.
for example. So like people say, oh, we're gonna change, we're gonna change, but like literally when Brittany Griner gets arrested in Russia for possession of marijuana, or like it was maybe a tenth of CBD or gram of whatever it is, it's wrong and she should definitely come home. But like when you literally have thousands of people that have those same offenses, like in your country,
Yeah.
yet you're trying to get her out of Russia for that same offense, it's like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if we got these people who are mostly men and we put them back into these struggling communities, it'd be better because we would have more families. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that sometimes, but it would take it's gonna take a lot.
Obviously, I mean, it's not just going to happen overnight. But
Yeah, I feel like even just like dropping those families back in, like organized crime still exists. So,
Obviously.
like, especially in those communities, even though it's more, I would say, disorganized than like how the mob used to be.
Yeah,
it's a
I would
lot
agree
of
with that.
organized crime.
yeah,
Almost
but
everything.
what if you made it federally legal and you started? This is a really bad idea, but I'm going to say it.
I'm
anyway.
with it.
What if you got
Let them take the drug if they want to take the drug.
What I'm saying is, if you were selling weed to begin with, couldn't you like put in place like a business for people who were put away for them to like run, or maybe get them to start their own legal marijuana business?
Oh
I
my
feel like
gosh,
that would
it
work,
should be easier.
right? Doesn't that make sense?
It grows out of the ground. Like there shouldn't be this many restrictions.
Well,
on it.
when it's legal in like 19 states, I think it's 19.
Yeah.
When it's legal in 19 states, I don't see why it shouldn't be federally
I'm
legal.
with you.
I don't get it.
I've never understood.
And I'm not somebody that smokes marijuana either,
Yeah.
or anything like that. But like, I feel like it's just common sense.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we know that the war on drugs was wrong.
That's terrible.
Like that Richard Nixon wasn't right.
No, he wasn't right at all.
We all know that now. But I feel like
we knew that then.
they aren't like going to be like, well, we'll take it all back. Because
the
like,
government,
imagine how many people they'd have to, if they did like everybody who's been charged with that, no longer has been charged with that.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how many people would get out of prison.
It's insane, and the amount of money that the government and just organizations like that, and generally private prisons, make off of people being in jail is insane.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Private prisons are crazy too, bro.
I'm completely against that as well. You shouldn't be aiming to make a profit off of putting people in jail.
Yeah, it's nuts. But there's pros and cons to everything, man.
Of course.
You know that.
I just feel like there's more cons when it comes to private
Yeah,
prisons.
my dad works in
Really?
the Trumbull County. It's like a medium security. He's worked there my whole life. And I always tell people my dad's been in prison for the last 20 years. You know? But yeah, he's been doing that. I don't know how somebody could do that every day.
It seems, well, actually, my one friend who we had a podcast episode with him hasn't aired because I had a previous producer that I kind of switched from. But we talked about, he worked at a prison for a little bit. He was trying to become a cop.
Yeah.
And he said, those people, he learned a lot from those people. And he said it's a very tough environment. So, I don't know, I could never do it.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Crazy. We got to wrap this up.
Okay.
Where can everybody find you at? Looking at that camera.
Just Andrew Laughs Lucas on Instagram. YouTube is just Andrew Lucas. If you just look up my name, usually I come up. If you also look up Taylor Kia Boardman, I'll pop up on Google Images. So
Really?
yeah, fun fact.
That's just your face, or like?
No, there's a picture of me next to my car.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right.
This has been a great episode, everybody. Please subscribe to the show. I probably should have said that
You
at
should
the
have
beginning.
already
But
subscribed.
here we are, right? End of the episode. Let's wrap it up.
Wait. We should do the post goes now, bro. Just be like, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Please subscribe.
Drop a like.
If you don't subscribe, then you're homophobic.
What do you have to talk about? The YouTube algorithm.
Yes.
Don't forget about the YouTube algorithm.
Yes. And definitely subscribe to Andrew Lucas as well.
Yeah,
and everything.
if you want.
If you want. We're not going to force
I'm
you.
not giving you anything except free content. So
There we go.
Same thing with Luke.
We're just trying, obviously. Hopefully, I can start doing stand-up soon. It's just a lawn care business. It's very
Yeah.
time-consuming.
Well, at least you're still doing this.
Oh, I love this thing.
You're talking, bro.
This is the
That's all
one
it
thing
is.
in my life that I know I love.
Yeah?
And I love my family, but like in terms of like doing stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so
I always loved recording, bro. There's nothing like that
it's so
experience.
fun. You have such like just your voice, you know what I mean? Whoever is watching,
Yeah.
if you have one person watching, so what, bro? At least you're out there. You know what I mean? We have a 96% of our listeners are male.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to branch out, so I could just show that I'm with the female community as well.
Yeah.
I'm a woman. So.
What if you started dating women? Go on Tinder, match with Tinder, but like instead of sending them like something like, "Hey, your face kind of looks like an ass cheek,"
Or
you
instead
could
of-
be like, "Hey."
Or instead of matching with men, I can match with women.
What if you brought OnlyFans stars on the podcast like that one guy from Barstool? You
Not
ever
a bad
seen that?
idea. I'd have to pay them to
20
get on.
balls?
Yeah. I don't know. But all right, everybody. Thank you so much. If you got till here, then God bless you. You're definitely mentally ill. But Andrew Lucas, sir, it's been awesome. And
been
I'm
great.
definitely looking forward to having you on again.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime.
Also, if you're interested in doing the skits, I'll contact you about
Yeah,
that as well because
for sure.
I'm looking to do that. All right, everybody. There's no love if you don't wear a glove. Stay tuned.